and welcome to another Lee's Corner. Today we got a lot to talk about. Whew. So much has happened in the news recently that took me an extra week just to try to squeeze all of this in. I got about maybe 30 minutes, so I'm gonna try to hook this all up for y'all. We're gonna be talking about what I call crazy ass white boy alert. Yeah, crazy ass white boy alert. That's the first thing we're gonna talk about. Then we're gonna talk about more racism in schools. Yeah, more racism in schools. I got some more for y'all. Last but not least, white supremacy has shown its ugly head again in Buffalo, New York. 18-year-old black man, 18-year-old white boy, Caucasian, goes on a shooting spree in Buffalo, New York, at a grocery store, shooting or killing 10 people and injuring more. We're gonna get with that and more when we come back on Lee's Corner. We back. All right, people. So we're gonna first start off with the first situation: crazy ass white boy alert. Oh yeah, we had a crazy ass white boy who couldn't have been no more than what, middle school. Y'all probably seen the video right now. Goes up to a black neighbor's house in his neighborhood. Goes up to a black neighbor's house, banging on the door with what looks like a whip. Okay, just slamming on the door. Almost, just like he could break the glass. I mean, people was really worried he's gonna break the glass. So the lady of the house, the black woman of the house, said, basically, get the hell away from my door. And she should have had, what the hell wrong with you? I'm gonna call the police. He goes away from the door. The black man of the house decides to go over and talk to his father because supposedly he had messed with his car too. The neighbors have footage of the white boy scraping their car or whatever the case may be, the black people's car. The white dude comes up with an attitude to the door. He tells him about his son, about we should just talk about this and this, that, and the other. The white dude goes and gets a gun. Comes back to the door with his gun in his hand. That's how scared he is just to talk to a black man. And just so you know, he was not yelling at the white dude when he came to the door. He said, we need to talk about your son. I want to come to talk to you man to man about your son and the stuff that's been going on. He went and got his gun. Came to the door with his gun. Then shot up in the air. Yeah. He was afraid of the black man. See, that's the thing with white people. They're so afraid of black folks when we just come to you in peace to talk to you about your children that they bring a gun to the door. Now, they done lived in the same neighborhood, so ain't no telling how long they've been there. I don't got all the stuff on that, but they have been there for a while. Okay? Living across the street from each other. But that's how scared white people are. You're going to bring a gun to the door to talk to a brother who is not bamming on your door like your son was to this black couple over here, but gently knocking on your door, trying to get you to come to the door so we can have a discussion about your son, which the brother was not getting an attitude about, but he just wanted to talk to the white man about. So if you had a white boy come up to your door like that, I mean, hell, I believe it was in North Carolina, we've had a situation where a black man was in a car wreck, ran up to a white person's door to get help and was shot by the person he was knocking on their door to get help from. Now, can you imagine if that brother or that the black lady of the house that answered the door would have came with a gun and shot that little white boy? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? What the people would have said? But they was well within their rights, right? I mean, they shoot us on command because they want to believe that we're axe murderers and everything else. You got to realize, facts. Biggest murderers in the United States, white people, always have been. Go back to the beginning of the United States. Biggest murderers are them. I know they love for you to think that white people, that black people are the one doing all the murders, but the fact of the matter is this: more black people kill black people, white people kill white people, more Asians kill Asians. That's how it's about. It's about proximity. But when they have their white media, they want to tend to tell white folks that your problem is black people. They're killing everybody. They're killing Asians. They're killing whites. They're killing themselves. They're killing everybody, which is bullshit. Like I told a friend of mine just recently, I said, how about you do a little test, as it were. How about you do a little test? I said, I've done this before myself. It's funny how white people react when you put the shoe on the other foot. I said, try sitting beside a white person or when a white person sit beside you, pulling your book bag or whatever you got closer to you, jacket, whatever, closer to you. Try scooting over when they sit down a little bit. If you're in an elevator or very close to one, most brothers out here like myself wear bags, so we got shit in our bags. Clutch it a little closer. Move a seat over when they sit down to it. See how they feel. Oh, they'll look at you like, what the fuck? Lock your doors as they walk by. Oh, they don't like being treated that way. They love treating you that way, but they don't like being treated that way. No, they don't like that at all. Like, what are you scared of me for? I'm not the criminal. Neither am I. But they've been taught that we are. And that's the problem that we have in this white society that we call America. It's very sad. So supposedly the white guy that his son bammed on these black folks' door, knocked on these black folks' door, he went to jail for, I guess, the gunshot violation. And that's all we know so far. We still don't know. Supposedly his son was angry because he got jumped by their son, but they was like, their sons don't even talk to each other, so there's no proof of this so far. So, like I said, crazy ass white boys alert. They just getting crazier and crazier and crazier. That's how it's going down. I also wanted to discuss with you guys more racism in school. We're gonna talk about more racism in school. We're gonna start with Texas high school. There's a Texas high school where Doree Williams transferred to from Ohio. So whenever you go to a Texas school, well, whenever you go to a school, you expect the rules to be somewhat the same, right? Never anything trivial, right? This particular Texas school happened to have the rule book state specific things like no twist in your hair, no dreaded hair, no hair that hangs past your forehead over your eyes, no hair that's... All these things were specific to the way black people wear their hair. Their hairstyle specifically. Cornrows. They named the specific haircuts that black people usually wear. And only black people usually wear. This is racist in nature. You know, we have the thing called the Crown Act in California and in many states, which means you cannot judge people or you can't make judgments or discriminate against people based on their hair. Because a lot of black people want to wear their hair natural, like afros and stuff like that. But see, like I said before, anything that's different to white folks, anything that's different to white folks, they always want to stop. Always. It's funny they didn't talk about bobs or anything of this nature. Not the way white people wear their hair and no dyeing your hair different colors and stuff like that like white people do. But they always seem to jump on what black people do. You know, and I think it's passive aggressive behavior is what it is. We can't downright say we don't like black folk. We don't like you niggas. But what we can do is know what your hairstyles are, what kind of clothes you wear. Just like in California, it's so funny, you can't wear baseball caps. Why? Because black folks was wearing baseball caps. We made it what it was. Oh, you can't wear these hats like this. You can't wear these hats. You can't wear those hats. Can't wear bucket hats. Why not? Because black folks wear bucket hats. Anytime white folks wear nothing, you don't never see that shit getting banned. It's only when black folks wear stuff like that. We got all the style that there is, but they want to stop us from showing our style all the time. That's just what they do. Anyway, they had the at the Texas school, they tried to say, well, refer to your handbook if you have a problem with it. The mother was very unhappy about it. She pulled her kid out of school and is homeschooling her kids to this very day. She's trying to get something done about the situation. And CNN got a hold of the book, and they took the books, the handbooks, to where nobody can't get them no more. They took them offline, took it everywhere else. And it's specifically where it says in the handbooks about cornrows, no this, no this. And the ACLU and them know that they have a case against this school and and they should act on it accordingly and quickly. Because when you go to the point to where you're actually talking about hairstyles and specifically for a race of people, that's presidential. Damn it. Presidential. Damn. Racist. Fuck it. So, I'm just like, if we all know this, then why not do something about it? And then they took the handbook off the internet and everything else so nobody else could see it. You know, like CNN couldn't find it. And when they did, they got a copy of it and all this other type of stuff. So she's homeschooling her kids right now, as she should. and trying to hope that they switch this out. But like I said, this is the racist situation that we go through all the time. All this stupid stuff. And it's always these southern states and these Republican states that are trying to pull this bullshit all the time, as if we don't know what they're really trying to say. You know, our culture basically is everywhere in America. You know, it is American culture. And they don't like it because they don't like what it's doing to their kids. And I don't necessarily get it, because we make the world cooler. And that's just what it is, what we do. But a lot of white people tend to don't like that these days, because they want to keep their kids, you know, it hasn't really changed. It's nothing new. They did this in the 40s and the 50s with our music and everything else. They try to do it now with our style and everything else and all this other kind of stuff. And that's where you had Trump with all this "Make America Great Again." In other words, let's continue to keep America racist and white again, is what this is really about. White people are very scared. This is a tipping point for white people. They're very scared of what's going on with this country, because they're scared because anytime black people and brown people make strides in any way, they get scared, because they feel like, you're taking the country away from us. It wasn't yours to begin with. You stole it from the Native Americans. What goes around comes around. Do you not understand that? I don't think some people do. And it might take even more time, but it's going to keep turning. It's going to keep turning. But that's why you see white people fighting so hard. This racist influx fights so hard to try to hold these things down by doing stupid stuff like making stuff in schools about hair and crown acts and stuff of this nature, that we have to make new laws to stop them from being racist. So they don't just all out call you nigga anymore. Not all of them. But they try to make laws to deter you and to stop things from happening for you and all this other kind of stuff. You know, you can't be on a wrestling team if you got dreads in your hair. Just like, it's just ridiculous. So this pushes me on to New York City. Hey, it ain't all southern states. New York is a little crazy too. So in New York, parents are outraged after New York teacher forces black students to pick cotton and wear handcuffs as a slavery lesson. Yeah, I saw this on the news. This is the stuff that we're talking about. You actually had kids who was like, didn't want to do it. White kids that did not want to do this picking cotton or handcuff shit. And they were supposed, and they was allowed to stop. But then when the black kids didn't want to do it, they was like, no, what you stopping? You got to keep doing it. No, see, black children out there. Let me explain something to y'all. Middle school, high school, elementary school. Let me explain something to you. I know your mamas and daddies are smart people, and they told you to be respectful to your adults. And I agree. I tell my children the same damn thing. But check this out. If it starts to demean you, if you know what it's like, black children, you know what it's like. If you feel like these white people are talking down to you and are trying to treat you subpar, at this point, you have a responsibility to yourself to leave that classroom and go to the principal's office and call your parents. Right then, don't wait till class is over. I know you're scared about getting in trouble, but don't be. To get up and leave that classroom is not an act of defiance. It's not. It's not an act of defiance. It's an act of showing them that what they're doing is wrong, and you picked up on it. Get up, go to the principal's office, call your parents. And tell them why you're calling your parents. And tell them I tried to stop what this lesson was, but they told me I couldn't. So I came to the principal's office. That's what you do. Do not be scared of these teachers. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Especially on something like this. Now, I'm not telling you to disobey on everything, but this is a totally different ball game and a totally different situation. This can scar these kids forever. When you're getting taught racism in classrooms and being made to feel as if you are less than your white counterparts, and this seemed to be okay. I don't never see the conservative movement talking about, well, that's wrong. That's just wrong. You know, it's just really wrong. They talk about the 1619 Project and about how teaching about white privilege is wrong because it makes white kids feel less than because of the color of their skin. But they can never, ever prove that this is being taught in schools. But we are proving that there are white teachers that are trying and have been trying to make black people hate themselves forever. I mean, this is not new. We've been left out of the entire history books for as long as they've been teaching things here. But the moment we try to start teaching about black people, all of a sudden, that's a horrible thing. That's a horrific thing. How dare you start teaching America about black people? Even though we are a part of America, woven in the very fabric from slavery itself. And so has hate and racism, which is where this is coming from. And I hate to say it, but I've always said it before. A lot of people love to say that, you know, America ain't that racist. It's only a few. No, it's not. It's more than a few. Quite more than a few. Now, you know, people can come all day and talk about, you know, I voted for Trump because he was a businessman and all this kind of stuff. You know, and this much of you was racist too, right? Because like I try to tell everybody else, I cannot be your friend and you be a friend or agree with somebody like Trump. You may agree with his business savvy, but what he says about black people and shithole countries, if you still vote for him and he has said that, you are not my friend and we can't be friends. That would be like me. That would be like a bunch of Jews wanting to be friends with me, and I love Farrakhan. Now, why don't they love Farrakhan? Because Farrakhan said years ago certain things about the Jews don't like. So I'm pretty sure a lot of Jews aren't trying to be friends with people that love Farrakhan, because to them, that's the ultimate condemnation. You can't be free. You can't love Farrakhan and be my friend. Oh, the way he talked about my religion, you can't be my friend and him talk like that. No, I'm sorry. I feel the same way about white folks. Or anybody else who follows Trump or people like him. Those are facts. I can't be your friend. People often try to say, well, can't we have different politics and still be friends? No, if you want to follow politics and you want to follow a guy who has a certain thing about conservatism or how we do money, be conservative with money, or not to give to this or give to that, that's fine. But when we go to his other standings and he's talking about things that hurt black and brown people, and you still with them, even though you're saying you don't agree with that, but you do agree with the business aspect of this person, but you still riding with them, even though they minding hard as in the gutter and they're going to be making laws and stuff that they craft around color and race, and you still ride with them, you can't roll with me. You just can't. You can't ride with me. We just can't. We can't. In that situation, it's one thing if it's about money and certain things like that and the way conservative spending versus liberal spending. It's another thing when we're talking about laws and statutes and stuff that are going to be made based on race and color of a person. That's where I draw the line. And I think most people do too. Oh, so let's get to the real McCoy for the day. Mass murder, Buffalo, New York. 10 people murdered, several people injured or hurt in hospitals, or so forth. What we know, 18-year-old, racist 18-year-old Caucasian, goes to a predominantly black neighborhood, to a grocery store with an AR-15 with nigger written on the end of the barrel, and starts talking about how he wants to kill all black people. Okay? Now, you know, you got your Fox Newses and everybody else talking about, oh, well, he's sick. He doesn't represent the white man. He's just this, that, and the other. We have proof that he's been sick for years and this, that. No. Stop. I don't care if he's sick or not. Because you don't give the average black man on TV that same due diligence as he was sick or mentally ill. So I don't want to hear this coming from the Caucasian side at all. He was a crazy degenerate. And he was spouting the same pseudo bullshit that white people have been spewing for centuries. The same stuff. We will not be replaced. Shut the fuck up, that bullshit. Nobody wants to hear it. It doesn't make sense. And it just shows how empty you and the people like you who speak like that truly are. Like I said, white people are like white sharks with no natural predators. What the fuck are you complaining about? I can tell you what it's really about. It's about a bunch of poor fucking rednecks who are angry at the system, which is rich white folks. Oh, and let me clue y'all in. Rich and white is not liberal. Rich and white is Republicans, oil barons. Now, this is not saying that there are not rich liberals. But see, Republicans love to frame rich as just being liberal. Like the only rich people are Democrats. You know, liberals. I don't give a fuck about either one of those. Both of them are rich motherfuckers. And the poor whites have been doing the same thing they've been doing for centuries too. They're too scared to go up against a rich white man because they know they're going to get their ass whooped by the federal government. So they take it out on black and brown and Asian people who they feel like they have the power to do this to. Because the rich whites are cool with that, because as long as you ain't coming for their neck, Take it out on the brown and black people. That's what they're here for. So you get the poor punk ass white people and the from nowhere, and you get the ex-military that come out and want to show their power, and they join places like the sheriff's department, the police department, and all these lovely little places like that, and take out all their anger on black and brown and Asian people. Well, I shouldn't say Asians because they don't. Black and brown people. That's what this is all about. Poor whites are scared to go against rich whites. But they're the one holding you down. It ain't black people. It ain't brown people. It's your own people. But poor whites have always been scared to go to rich whites. Right? Rich whites have always dangled that carrot right in front of poor whites. Forever. They've always used and manipulated them like they've done everybody else. And poor whites, they got to take it out on somebody, right? So why not the brown and the black people? Because they know that my friends, the sheriff and the mayor, is not going to care if you kill a couple niggas, right? Couple wetbacks? We ain't going to care. Who cares? Oh, we'll talk about it in the federal government and say that's not cool and y'all need to calm down. But we're not going to really do any real change about it because we know if we do, they're going to realize who the real bad guy is, us. There you go. But this white Caucasian male, 18 years of age, going into a black area in Buffalo, New York and shooting them up, racist. And people keep acting like this is something new. This is what I keep. I don't understand how this keeps happening. I don't get it. This is America. What do you not get? We are not better than this because this is how the country began. This is how the country began. Well, when white folks took it over, at least. When they stole it from Native Americans. This is how it began. You can't get better if you don't cut that cancer out. It just grows and grows and metastasizes and metastasizes. And then people wonder why nothing shocks me. Nothing shocks me. I will say one thing though. Us black people, us, see, no, I'm not singling nobody out. I'm saying us. Black folks, we need to learn to bring our shit to the table and start protecting ourselves. We need to be starting to be on high alert. See, I told y'all before, these white people crazy. They are. They're fucking insane. Why do you seem to think that you're getting the treatment that you are? I mean, think about it. You're going to take over a country, import slaves and motherfuckers to kill and torture like animals. That's crazy. Right? Right. But like I said before, all things in time, right? But like I try to tell folks, we as black folks, we need to get our stuff together. You know, they talk about community watch and all this kind of stuff. This is why I love the fact that more black people are registering for handguns and every other kind of gun and taking the lessons and everything they need, because we do need to start arming ourselves. We're going to go back to the Black Panther days. We have to start arming ourselves. We need to start arming and protecting ourselves. So this would never happen again because we would all be armed. Number two, notice once again, every school shooter, every mass shooter, if they don't kill themselves, they're always taken what? Alive. Why? We had a black shooter, one in Texas, in a BLM situation. Black Lives Matter was marching. And this guy was angry at the cops because they done fucked up with somebody else. They sent a bomb tied to a robot to blow his ass away. No problems with that, right? They had no problems with that. But every white mass shooter, he's taken in. He's never roughed up. Hell, they even took one to Mickey D's to get him a burger. You all right? You hungry? Because I know you did some damage in there. You all right? Want some tea? Got some tea? Apple pie? What you need? That's how white mass murderers are treated when they kill black people. It's a little reward. Well, we got to take you in. You know, the books say we got to run you in. But, you know, let's do this easy. According to the news, when they rolled up on this white boy in Buffalo, New York, he still had the gun in his hands. Here's the thing. You already know, most cops when they roll up, that the guys have already done the crime. They've already murdered 10 people. So you should roll up on them like you roll up on innocent black people that are unarmed and just blow his ass away. Nope, because he's one of theirs. That's what I'm trying to tell people. He is one of theirs. So I don't see why you shot at the, like I said, the ACLU and everybody else, to me, has more than enough information and more than enough stuff to create a case against the racism in America, in the police, stations around the United States. They've even said they're all corrupt. Well, if you know that, act, goddammit. Act. Let us strip away the bullshit that is protecting them and let us sue them personally. Take away their fucking take away their money, their pensions. But everybody's scared to do that because they like the status quo of them being able to continue to kill black folks, right? But this is, like I said, this is America. Everybody want to act like they don't know what America is. This is America. This is what America's like. This is what it's like to be here. What my man say? Mr. Baldwin, to be a black man in America is, and I'm paraphrasing, is to always be angry. Facts. But then you wonder why we die from strokes and heart attacks early. It ain't just the food. It's the racism. And I believe white people know it. That's why they keep ratcheting up things and ratcheting it up, because they know what's up. If we don't kill you with that, with a heart attack, we're going to kill you with this, or kill you with a stroke. We're going to kill you physically with the police. So like I said, that's my time, people. And like I said before, come and join us again at Lee's Corner, where we talk about the things you want to talk about. Y'all be safe out there.